Hello everyone and welcome to the draft recap slash analysis for the Copenhagen Sawsbucks, because we're joining the Eon World Trophy for Season 2 and I'm pretty excited to share the team. Also, yes, Copenhagen is butchered down there. It's better than the beginning because it started out being the Philadelphia Absols and that felt very weird, and you know, I picked Copenhagen because I thought it would be easier because it's the only Danish city with an English name and it's still getting butchered. I'm not mad. I find it a little bit funny that I took it because it was supposed to be easy and it's apparently not. It's apparently I should have made it really hard. Then maybe I should have gone with like Aarhus or Aalborg or something. You know? Or just like taking Copenhagen in its Danish name and call it Copenhagen instead. And it would have been great. But anyway, that's completely besides the point. You'll just have to live with Copenhagen. Copenhagen. Yeah, okay, so what this is a draft league. And we were in Season 1 and I think I had... Was this the team where I hadn't seen roll? No, that was Jubil. I don't remember my Season 1 team. I remember that it didn't go too well, from what I remember. But I think this time around we got a pretty solid team out of this. So, basically, all Pokemon cost points. There are a couple like Galarian Dimensions not allowed and legendaries and such. But you basically get 1,000 points, and Pokemon are tiered between costing 200 points to 20 points, and then you're basically free to take whatever you want. And I think I had like pick number 6 or something, like I was right in the middle for getting my picks, and you know, that's both a curse and a blessing. And why is my mouse not working? This is going to be very hard without my mouse working, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so basically, I didn't really have a plan for the first turn, let's say it like that. I was just like going into seeing what was left. Actually, for the whole draft, I didn't really have a plan, so... And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing, instead of having like... Maybe it made decisions a little bit easier. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't stressing too much about this draft compared to some of the others that I've had. But, you know, we go into it, we have like pick number 6 or something like that. And Dragapult was still sitting there, and, you know... Dragapult's a bit, it's a bit of a funny Pokemon, because obviously it has a stupid speed tier. That's so good, and that means that often, because, you know, rather limited decks, you can often actually run like Adamant or Modest or whatnot, because you're already so fast, and its offensive stats is, they're not crazy, but like a base 120 attack together with the base 100 special attack, it gives you some room to play around with it. And you know, it does get Dragon Dance. I don't think it gets anything to set up specially. It can agility. Wow, that's useful. Yeah, basically it gets Dragon Dance. So like that may be its own. It's its only like real setup. But still, if you get a Dragon Dance up and this thing gets Dragon Dodge, which in doubles is a bit iffy, but he has like a base 100 move, a Dragon move that's stab. Oh, which doesn't have any drawbacks? You know, that's... Honestly, it's pretty good. Obviously, it has the weakness of Phantom Force being its best physical attack, but depending on, like, what kind of team you're facing, well, that can still be quite nice. If they don't have too many Ghost Resists or any immunity or something, it's still pretty spammable, to be honest. So we got this thing, we got some speed right at the start, and, you know, we sit around and we wait quite a bit for our next pick to come around. I'm so annoyed that my mouse doesn't work. It just worked. Well, it's... No, okay, we're back. So that's pick number 1. It's a pretty solid pick, I'd say. So pick number 2 ends up being Obstagoon. Which I've had my eye on it for a little while, like I never really gotten it to fit. But it gives me a dark type, and Obstagoon can hit like a truck. Like, if you have guts, you give it a flame orb, you actually get the guts off, and you click Facade. Nothing really likes that. And it gets knockoff too, so you know, something is eating a very big knockoff and they don't want to. And for some reason it also gets close combat, so even if you have like the dark types, like, I don't know, Tyranitar or something, they don't really like you anyway. And you can still use it, it might also get a little bit of other coverage, but honestly, like, what do you need? It gets Skunk Shot for fairies, so screw fairies. Ice Punch, yeah, Seed Bomb for some reason. Wait, Stomping Tantrum, Thunder Punch. Extisser. So like it gets pretty good coverage, and then it can just body shut out if it doesn't like the matchup. Like, the only thing that's really a disadvantage is basically if it's like Conkeldurr, Girder, Hitmontop, Hitmonchan, whatever gets Mark Punch is basically like the biggest weakness for this thing. So, you know, I'd say it's pretty solid. It's also quite, you know, we're using a lot of points, but I think they're well spent on these two. And going into the next, I wanted a fairy type. I had my eyes on Clefable, which, you know, it was expensive, but Clefable is pretty good because obviously you can get Magic Guard and Life Orb and it can suddenly hit pretty hard. It can also be bulky and, you know, it gets Stealth Rock. That's quite nice because I'm bad at drafting, you know, hazards. It was taken, and then, you know, I was also looking at Sylvia, and Sylvia's like, yeah, maybe it'll make it back, but it did not make it back. Basically, nothing really... none of the, like, good, like, both, you know, offensive and defensive fairies really made it back. So I went with the Alola Ninetales, because, you know, still fairy type, and as an ice type, and I've actually wanted to use this for the whole time I've been playing draft leagues. And I got to use Fire Ninetales last in the GDL, and, you know, it's actually pretty good, and I have faith that Alola Ninetales will actually possibly outperform it a bit, because obviously it gets Aurora... that word. Aurora... it can set Bales, okay? It can set Bales, and not a lot of teams resist both Ice and Fairy. There are obviously some Pokemon that do, and they will be annoying, but then we can still set Bales, and it'll still be okay. I think it's a Pokemon that can perform quite well. I guess up Calm Mind, it can Nasty Plot, it can Agility for some reason, and, you know, if you're a little bit funky and you're facing a Weather team, you just throw on, you know, Weather Ball, and you can suddenly get, like, a base 100 Rock move if you're facing Sand, or a Water move or whatnot. Like, you can get around a lot, I'll say. And it also gives a move that's harder than Ice Beam, but, you know, we'll probably always use Blizzard anyway, so, you know, it doesn't really matter who uses Ice Beam on a Ninetales. Like, honestly, this is a Freeze Dry. Potentially Moonblast on matchups. It also gets Anko, that's also quite nice. It also gets, I think it's disabled. And it can roar and it can talk. Like, it's just good. It's a good Pokemon, and I'm actually quite excited to use it. Like, nah. Ninetales might be one of my favorite Pokemon. I don't think it's really a secret. But yeah, so that's it. So obviously we have 3 quite offensive Pokemon. And we kind of need a little bit of a defensive backbone. And we have a Dragon, we have a Fairy type, so that's quite nice. And there wasn't a lot of Steel types that I liked. And especially not that were still left. But I ended up going with Bronzong because it's not exactly cheap, but it's pretty cheap still for a pretty damn solid Steel type. And, you know, it gives me rocks. It's pretty slow, so you can set up the Trick Room, which, I don't know, Iron Ball, Dragon Ball, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Basically, it's just a very reliable Steel type that can, you know, tank a lot of hits. And, you know, it has 2 useful abilities. It can levitate, you know, avoid ground moves. Oh, you know, heat proof, because they'll think you're levitated, so they might not want to go for a ground move anyway, so you can be heat proof and then, like, fool them that way, and they think they can fire you down, and they can't. You know, it gives option, and it has a lot of good coverage, and it can be both special and physical, and in case we do get something slower later down the line, it also gives us the opportunity to Trick Room, and potentially make a Trick Room sweep, so, you know, a pretty good, solid pick overall, I'd say. Which I will also say about the next pick, which was Rotom Heat, because we needed some remover, and Heavy Duty Boots is a blessing. And, you know, we can't really heal too much, but we have Pain Split at least, and Pain Split can be pretty annoying. We can Will-O-Wisp, we can Thunder Wave, we can Discharge, we can Volt Switch, which is pretty nice. So we have 3 Pokemon now with Switch Initiative, which I think is pretty good, because I think the big thing about this team is getting, like, you know, the right offensive Pokemon in at the right time and just be able to, like, click moves. I think that'll be one of the big strengths. Also, you know, Rotom now gets Nasty Plot, so don't sleep on overheats anymore. We can make ourselves bulky again. So, yeah, it's solid, and I really think that the Heavy Duty Boost, it's such a nice addition, because it's always been one of the things that's kind of been holding Rotom back, is having to take the 25% coming in on rocks, and now we can avoid that. So, you know, that's pretty solid overall. Next up, I wanted my Water type, and I was really looking at Blastoise because, you know, other than being a Rapid Spin, I'd also get Shell Smash, or suddenly could become quite offensive. But But it got taken like a little bit before we came to me, and it was just... Obviously, I used a lot of points. I have 5 picks left. I have 300 points. It's not really that nice, so, you know, it couldn't go like super high tier for water type. So we ended up going with the Porygon, which we've used before. And the nice thing about the Porygon is it's very, very good defensively. Like, it can wish support, toxic, heal, but all of that. But it does also have 100 base special attack, and it can get Hydro Pump, and you can completely obliterate something if they're expecting you to be defensive and you're suddenly not. I think it's a very solid pick. It can both support the team or it can help break your opponent. So I see it as being very versatile in that regard, which is kind of what I like about all these Pokemon, even the defensive ones, is that they can all, like Bronzong. I mean, Bronzong doesn't set up too well. Does it even set up? It does Calm Mind. It can Calm Mind. I don't know that we'll use it, but it can. Which is basically also it. But like, they still have a good offensive presence, and they can kind of, you know, take our opponents by surprise if used right, in the right scenarios. So now we're going a bit further. You know, we only have Rotom as a defog, and I kind of wanted something else other than Rotom, because again, with Rotom getting Nasty Plot, it can get a lot more of a, you know, actually offensive presence on the team. So I went with another defogger, and this is one of the things where, like, there's not a lot of removers in this meta game. So we went with Gerda. We've had Gerda before. We also had Conkeldurr, and you know, it's pretty solid. It is still like it still has 105 base, you know, attack, so it's still pretty good. And with Eviolite, you know, it gets a decent amount of bulk. Like, the special bulk is not, it doesn't suddenly get amazing, but it can take hits, and it helps against the dark types quite a bit, which, you know, is quite nice. We don't really deal with those otherwise, you know. Dark types is kind of a thing. The same with rock types and such, because, I mean, Bronzong can take on rock types, but not dark types. You know, it just gives a lot, and it gives, obviously it gives the defog. It gives some priority, which is also nice. Mark Punch is actually quite a good move. And it can bulk up. So this thing can suddenly also become a threat. So, you know, I like that. We need to keep our opponents on their toes. So one of the big things about the team is, you know, obviously we have a bit of a funky speed tilt. Like, it goes from Dragapult down to Ninetales, and that gap is hard to fix, and that's exactly what I don't do here. Instead, I pick my yeah, that was a good lead up to it. I pick my grass type, aka grounded slash, I should say slash, not aka, slash grounded poison type, and I pick Vileplume, because we're going down in the Chi-bed now, because we don't have a lot of points remaining and we don't want to dig too deep. Vileplume is also like, it kind of has the same, like, you see it as this defensive Pokemon that can really help your team, and it gets Strength Stamp, which is quite nice. Does it get Spore these days? It doesn't, but it gets Sleep Powder. But you know what it also gets? It gets Moonblast, for some reason. And I don't know why. And yeah, again, it gets Sleep Powder, it gets Toxic, it gets Synthesis, it gets, for some reason, Substance. Physical Vileplume on the way. I mean, with that base 80 attack, you know? No, but like, the fun thing about it is that, you know, it doesn't have the greatest coverage, but it can still be a nuisance just because of Strength Stab being there. Which means that you don't really need Moonlight or Synthesis as much. It's just, it can just be annoying, and if you have like Effect Spore, then they suddenly also need to be worried about hitting you, because they can get status, and that can be quite, you know, that can be quite instrumental, because suddenly you can have your super fast Pokemon that just U-turn on you, they suddenly get paralyzed. And that's a bummer. And speaking of paralyzed, that brings us into the next pick. We only have one rocker. We only have Bronzong. And you know, Bronzong is good, but I don't want us to always have to rely on that. And we don't really have a ground type. We do have an electric type, but we don't have a ground type. And I had my eyes on this from the start. I want to Stunfisk. And people are doubting this. They really shouldn't. This thing, I used it in I don't remember what it was called. It was like a draft league that was mostly like for fun, where other people didn't really upload, but I did. This thing saved my butt multiple times with static. And it's so stupidly bulky. take basically any electric type, barring Rotom Mow or Rotom Frost, and you can vault them completely. They can't touch you, they can't get through to you, and you're so bulky that, you know, first of all, you're immune to Volt Switch. If they U-turn, they have to risk getting paralyzed on you, so basically the only way to get out of this for free is with Baton Pass or Teleport. And he may look silly, but he's quite good. Just you wait, Would have been great if Tapu Koko was here, because then you could really see shine. But yes, that's it. Last pick. This one was such a bummer. I was like, this pick is so safe. No, I've never seen anyone draft it before. It'll be fine. And like it was not even a 40-point Pokemon, even though we have 40 points left. It was actually only it was only 20 points, and it got taken. And it completely threw my mind, and I'll say what it was. Obviously it was Beartic, because it will give me a Hail Abuser, and you know, it can be pretty good. Like it gives it some speed when it goes up there. It has really good attack with 130 base attack, and you know, it also gets like, it gets awkward yet. It gets some nice coverage. It gets like fighting coverage. Yes, I am looking it up. It gets Play Rough for some reason. It gets Night Slash, Shadow Claw, Rock Slide. It gets some nice coverage, and it would just make it fast and like really able to hit hard. But nope, got taken right in my face, and there was literally ultimate nothing else that I could afford that I wanted. I'll be very honest, I did not want anything else, and the thing that I picked was just because it was the least evil thing that I could get, and that's Clefairy, because at least like it's. Ninetales is not really a bulky fairy type, but at least like Clefairy is. And you know, it doesn't hit too hard, but it gets basically all the same moves like Clefable does. So it can still be quite annoying, but I'll admit I was quite bummed. But I guess Teleport, so people can't really come in for free. I guess I can still get out of there. But that bummed me so much. But like otherwise, I think other than really getting bummed out with the not getting Beartic, because I think like Beartic would have just been like the perfect like last bit to the team. I think that otherwise like we got a pretty solid squad. Obviously I never got the speed tier fixed, but there's really few things that hit the speed tier between Ninetales and Dragapult, and they're often expensive and pretty desired and quickly taken. And again, like with things like that, it's either like you either pick team synergy or you pick getting the speed tier, and I think in the long run the speed tier is the least valuable in that regard, because you know, we still have Ninetales, and Ninetales is still precious most faster Pokemon like Cinderace and all that to run a speed nature plus speed nature for most regards, because otherwise it's still risk getting outsped, because you know 109 base speed is not low in this meta. And Dragon Balls is just insanely high, and nothing else really gets up there other than like is Excel go faster? I don't think Excel isn't it only, yeah, Excel goes faster, and Quick Feet Jolteon is faster. Otherwise, like things need to be scuffed to our speed. Zero might also be, yeah, Zero is faster too, like 1 point. Ninjask. So you can see like from those that are faster, how many of them are actually good, you know. And no one drafted Ninjask, so we take that. But yeah, that's the team. Hopefully it can do us some good this season. I have faith. I think we got a solid squad. Like this feels like a me kind of squad, and I think that's very important, that you feel comfortable looking at the team and saying, haha, this is for me to build with. Exactly, because they all have a pretty annoying, Baron Clefairy, pretty annoying, you know, presence both offensively and some of them also defensively, so it makes our opponent less able to like just say, oh, that Pokemon has exactly that role. It's just like, yeah. And even though we only have, I mean, we have 3 Rockers, and even though we only have 2 Defoggers, also that I don't always bring Defog. You know, if my team is not super weak to a hazard or something, who brings Defog then? You know, it is what it is, and you might think that something is going to come with Star Rocks, and it's not. Unfortunately, I don't have any Magic Bounce, so you know, that makes Magic Bounce is a lot of fun. Also, I got a message over Discord. I hope you did not hear that. You did. I'm sorry for that. I closed the internet. I forgot I had it open. Oh, that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you'll stay in tune for the season, because I think we're going to be in for a good one. And you know, I will try for the first time ever to actually do team builders. So that should be up Saturday next week, and then the game should go up Sunday, and games should go up every Sunday after that. So that, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, keep it cool. Bye.